Hello kids, today we are going to look at a geometry problem. As you can see here on the screen, there is a big rectangle. Let's call this rectangle, give it a name, A, B, C, D. Okay, let me write here, a rectangle, A, B, C, D. Now inside this rectangle, we have a square here. Okay. Let's call this square E, F, G, H. Okay, we have a square E, F, G, H. Okay, now we know some distances which include the distance from E to B is 9 centimeter. Okay, so from E to B here, 9 centimeter. And also from D to G, from here to here, we have 10 centimeter. Okay. So we know these two lenses here. Okay. 9 centimeter from here to here, 10 centimeter from here to here. Okay. We know those two numbers. The problem is to find the perimeter of the rectangle A, B, C, D. Okay, let's take a moment to look at this question. We want to find the perimeter of the big rectangle A, B, C, D. We don't know all the side lenses. We do know inside this big rectangle we have a square EFGH, and we only know two distances, from E to B and from D to G. These two distances are different. Now before we solve this problem, let's review some basic concepts about geometry. Okay. First, let's have a review. What is the properties of a rectangle? For a rectangle, we know, let's see, we have a rectangle here. A rectangle have a length on the top and a same length on the bottom. Okay. I'm going to write it in a shorter term L. And two sides have, you can call it a width or height. If you call it a width, on the left side and the right side, the same width. Let's call it W. How do we find the perimeter? Okay. The perimeter of rectangle here, let's call the perimeter P equals, you add up all the lenses, two lenses on the top and the bottom, two widths from left and the right. So that equals 2 times L plus 2 times W. Okay. or you can write P equals 2 times, in a bracket, length plus width. Okay? So that's for the rectangle. Now a square is a special kind of rectangle, right? For a square, let me draw a very small square here. It has 4 identical sides, right? So 4 sides are all the same. Let's call it S, right? And how do you find the perimeter of the square? The perimeter for a square, okay, put a little S here, put a little rectangle here for rectangle, okay? The square perimeter, you add up the lengths from all the 4 sides, right? So S plus S plus S plus S, or you can simply write it as 4 times S. Right? There's another important property we're going to use. I'm going to repeat. For a square, all the 4 sides have the same length. Right? So now let's go back to look at our problem here. We want to find the perimeter of the big rectangle A, B, C, D. Okay. But according to the normal formula for the perimeter of a rectangle, we need to find the length and the width. Now let's go back here. Do we have all the lengths? On the length there, we only know part of the length. On the bottom, the same. We only know part of the length. And for the width, we don't even know the number. This is a very tricky problem. How do we solve it? So today, I'm going to show a method that is kind of in a contrast to our earlier method. Remember when we look at the pencil purchase problem in a store, you use a package method. Right? Now today, we are going to learn a kind of reversed way. You can call it a break-up method. Okay? So I'm going to maybe write it here, okay, on the top. Break-up method. Okay. So the idea here is instead of looking at the length of the rectangle as a whole, we break it up to different small sections. As you can clearly see from this graph, the length of the rectangle from A to B equals the length of A to E plus E to F plus F to B. And E to F is the side length of this square. And that makes a connection, right? Now, in order to make our calculation easier, I'm going to call the length from from F to B. Let's call it length 1, number 1. Okay. From B to C, let's call it number 2. Right? Now, how about from C to G? As you can see, for a rectangle, the distance from C to G is the same as from F to B. So you have length 1 there. Okay. Also, if you look at this small rectangle, FBCG, we know for rectangle, the top side always have the same length as the bottom side. Also, the width from the right is also the same as the width from the left, meaning from F to G is the same length as from B to C, right? So here, from F to G, you have 2 there, right? If that is 2, again, for a square, all the 4 sides have the same length, then you also have a length number 2 from H to G, right? Then from H to D, let's call it length number 3. Then continue D to A for rectangle, left, right side, same length. So if the length here is unit 2, you also have unit 2 from A to D. Again, looking at the small rectangle AEHD, top and bottom same length, so you have length unit 3 there. Okay, and of course for square you have length 2 there for that square, and length 2 here for this side from E to F. Now, if you look at this, the perimeter of the big rectangle ABCD becomes the summary of all those small length units. Let's write it. So start from F here. Let's put a marker so we know we started from there. Okay, so that will be 1 plus 2. Continue here, plus 1. All the way, okay, clockwise, plus 2. Then plus 3. And continue, plus 2 here, plus 3 there, plus 2 here. Done. Right? Now, that is the perimeter of the rectangle ABCD. Now, let's look at what we have here. You have 1 there, 1 there. Okay? So, perimeter now equals 1 times 2. Right? Double unit 1. And how about 2? 2 here, 2 there, okay? And 2 here, 2 here. You have plus unit 2 times 4, right? How about 3? You have 3 here, 3 here, plus unit 3 times 2. Okay. Now, let's remember this. This is the formula for the perimeter of rectangle ABCD. And what do we know already? We know from the given 1 plus 2 is 9, right? So, write a little given here. 1 plus 2 is 9 centimeter. What else? 2 plus 3 is 10 centimeter. 2 plus 3 is 10 centimeter, right? Now let's look at the relationship. Remember, 1 plus 2 is 9, 2 plus 3 is 10. Okay, now the perimeter of ABCD, that's rectangular, equals 1 times 2 plus 2 times 4. Now 2 times 4 is the same as, let's write that as 2 times 2, okay, plus another 2 times 2, the same as 2 times 4, right? So let's combine this 1 times 2 plus 2 times 2. So that's 1 plus 2, let's use a bracket, times 2, plus, now 3 times 2 plus 2 times 2. So that's 2 plus 3, use a bracket, times 2, right? Now, it becomes clearer now after this combination. 1 unit times 2 unit is 9 centimeter. See, so you have 9 centimeter times 2 plus 2 unit plus 3 unit is 10 centimeter plus 10 centimeter times 2, right? So now it becomes quite straightforward. The perimeter of ABCD becomes 9 centimeter times 2 plus 10 centimeter times 2. Now you can do the calculation. I'm going to write it as the final solution here. Okay. Perimeter of ABCD, okay, P perimeter, okay, equals 9 centimeter times 2 plus 10 centimeter times 2, which is 18 centimeter plus 20 centimeter, which is 38 centimeter, right? So that is the answer. Okay, that is your final answer.